All right. So, what other couple other NFL stories? Do you care about Odell Beckham to the Rams or?
Well, I guess it's important now that Robert Woods tore his ACL. I mean,
Yeah, that
you
kind of
know,
worked out.
that yeah. So that's pretty much the only injury they can manage. I think at this point.
Yeah, but I mean, again, this is another thing I was hearing Trent Dilfer talk about this. He's like, he doesn't think Beckham's going to get a lot of. He's not going to get a volume of targets. He's not going to get the ball because they have so many guys they get the ball to. So
Yeah.
he's like, I do think, but he did say he will get the ball down the field more, and he will get more chances to do stuff. But it's not going to be this. So I think I think I think it's great for them to try to make a Super Bowl run. I don't know. I don't think this is a long term solution by any means. I don't think he's going to stay there. And if he wants to get paid, they don't have any money to pay him. So,
Yeah.
The other thing was Justin Fields on Monday night for the Bears.
That's right.
He's probably the guy that I'm most jealous of. I mean, I'm most jealous of not having Joe Burrow, I'll be honest. But this is probably my. What?
More than Justin Herbert?
I don't know.
It's kind of.
Yeah, it's kind of either or. I don't know.
It's just kind of like,
It's a personal. It's not just a quarterback play thing. I think it's a personal thing. I think I just like Joe Burrow better, just because I feel like all the shit he went through in college, having to transfer, and then like he's a badass man. He just like.
Okay. All right, I can understand that.
He just like. He's just like, come on with me. I'll bring you guys all. I just feel like he's a player, man. I'm sorry, not a player, a playa. But Justin Fields also a playa.
When I watched the highlights of that, I'm like, I literally wanted to like scream at the Dolphins front office. That's what an NFL quarterback looks like. It's like, okay. He's obviously more athletic. Because I'm a Dolphins fan, I just, I refer a lot of stuff back to Dan Marino. But like, there's, sometimes I watch certain quarterbacks throw the ball, and it's just like, okay, that's how you throw a damn football. Okay. Now, granted, Justin Fields is more mobile than Marino ever was, and he can throw on the move. He can throw on the move like crazy. But yeah, you watch that and you go, okay. That's talent. There's a lot of potential there. The Bears need to get their offensive line right and get some other stuff fixed. He could be pretty good. He's got a lot of potential.
Right, but that's the point. Like the Bears don't have a great offense. They don't have a lot going for them, and he led them down the field at the end of the game to win the game. And he's making play again. Now, does he have some issues? Yes. He has issues. Like he's got to do a better job of reading the stuff better. He's got to do a better job of getting the ball out quicker when it's necessary. He holds on to it a little bit. He's got issues that need to be worked on. But he throws a fantastic ball down the field. He's an unbelievable athlete. Like he can do all this, all these things, and somebody's just got to bring him along and get him better. But I got to keep it. I'll keep it to the Bears. Forget the Dolphins for a minute. Yeah, I really. But I thought he played well. And it's Pittsburgh Steelers defense. It's not some chump defense either. Yeah. This is not
Mike Tomlin always say what you want about the Steelers and Mike Tomlin. He always has that defense ready to roll.
Yeah,
He's a defensive coach. He knows that he gets them ready to go.
So. And needless to say, like, and by the way, I liked it and was like, oh wow, this is great. And then Colin Cowherd went, the Bears have a quarterback. It's all set. I was like, whoa. whoa. Like, listen, I like this kid. I think he's going to, my personal opinion is, I think everybody that passed on him is going to regret it. But
the Carolina Panthers, what the fuck were you doing?
Philadelphia,
the Denver Broncos, what the hell? What are you doing?
Yeah.
And
the Denver Broncos are literally a quarterback away. That team is ready to roll. They have everything. They have both lines.
Just a side note, what is it with some of these teams that are like, oh, no, we're fine. We can win with this. Is it hubris? Are you stupid? Like, what the, I don't understand. It's like, it's 2021. It's not 1985. Like, what the, Like, oh yeah, we can win. No, you can't. When was the last time you saw some run-of-the-mill quarterback win the Super Bowl? I mean, what Nick Foles? Yeah, but I mean, did you watch how Nick Foles played in that playoff run? Like he looked like a real freaking quarterback.
Well, and by the way, the Eagles didn't believe in Nick Foles because they drafted Carson Wentz. So what are you talking about? Yeah, Denver and Washington to me, like, yeah, this is something we should probably do or maybe more this season or in the offseason is Washington and Denver. What were you thinking? We're going to get Teddy Bridgewater and Ryan Fitzpatrick and they're going to take us to the promised land? What are you talking about? Like, I'm just blown away. How did Justin Fields get to the 11th pick? That is just, the Bears got to steal.
This is one of those questions, and I'm just going to be rolling around in my head for years. Like some of the decisions that some of these teams seem to make they don't make sense. Like I would love to know what went into it, or maybe I'm reading too much into it when I say what went into it. Some of these decisions, I think sometimes maybe not enough goes into it. Maybe they're just kind of like, no, we'll do this. They just kind of like, I don't know. I honestly don't know.
Yeah, I'm not sure what Denver was thinking. They knew Drew Lock was not the guy, but evidenced by the fact that they traded for Teddy Bridgewater. So they knew that, okay, well, whatever. And it's like, why didn't you just, like, and here's the thing, that I was thinking about this last night. So you brought up Dan Marino, right? To me, the closest, like, the way they throw the ball, like, Zach Wilson for the Jets, like, when you watch his highlights, he's got that Dan Marino thing where it comes out real quick and it's a freaking rope. Like, he's the one guy and it's easy. Like, it's not like this setup with whatever. It's just, bam, balls out. And it's just, wow. He can do that. No, I don't know that. But that being said, he's not ready. He wasn't ready to play. Like, they should have, like, and San Francisco's learning this too. Like, they drafted Trey Lance. Great. But he's not ready right now.
Yeah.
Like, it's a very specific, there's a specific thing you can do. And Justin Fields, he's not ready mentally to play right now, but he just can do stuff.
There's so much that goes into it. He needs more time.
Right. But he's good enough with his skill set to get by. He can survive like this. But yeah, a lot of these guys, and I agree with Trent Dilfer on this, like most of these guys should sit. They really should. Yeah. I realize,
like, I'll agree with Trent Dilfer on this. Like, I think he would probably say that a lot of these teams don't know what the hell they're doing with their quarterback, so they don't know how to bring them along properly. I think that's probably true. Some of these guys, they really, and people would argue, oh, well, no, you don't draft them to sit. It's like, dude, there's so much that they have to get up to speed on. Like, just in terms of like we were talking earlier about the pre-snap stuff, and like all that stuff is, there's no like, well, the secret to playing quarterback is this. No, there's tons of secrets to it. There's tons of little things that you got to get right. So yeah, like a lot of these guys probably need to sit. They need to sit for a while. They need to learn how to watch film. They need to learn how to prepare. They need to learn, the playbook. They need to learn how to, like, looking at different coverages and stuff. Like, yeah, a lot of these guys need to sit for a while and, like, learn more stuff. And teams probably do a really piss poor job of, like, getting quarterbacks ready to play.
And I think, I also think the last two seasons with the NFL draft were out of this world for quarterbacks. Like, there were 9 quarterbacks in last year's draft. There were 5 in the first round, and except for Trey Lance, all of them are playing. So I think what I want to point out is this year, like this upcoming draft, it's nothing like that. None of these guys coming out in this draft are ready to start right away. They're just not. So it's gonna be real fascinating to me next year when people are like, "Oh, rookie quarterback, yeah, it's not the case." But anyway, we got off on our own tangent there. So
there's one more NFL thing that I wanted to do, because I was listening to or I was watching First Things First, and Nick Wright, who's obviously a Chiefs homer, which is fine. Hey, we're Dolphins. Well, I mean, I guess it's fine, but I feel like you need to be at least rational when you're discussing the team that you root for.
We're in the Miami Dolphins support group.
Yes, exactly. All right. but he was talking about the Chiefs, and he was saying that the game against the Packers, which they won like 14-7 or 13-7, like.
Yeah.
Yeah, they didn't really, and the Chiefs' offense really didn't look good. Mahomes didn't really look good. And then Nick Wright's like, well, but there was one play toward the end of the game where I'm like, okay, everything's going to be fine because they made that one play. Okay, dude, I'm going to go off on a little bit of a tangent here. That entire idea that, well, that one moment things flipped and then everything was fine. That's not how life works, pal. Okay, that's not, you don't just get one moment right. And the analogy to this is the analogy that I'll draw is in the movie Back to the Future, the science fiction classic, one of the best, time travel movies of all time. Marty McFly goes back in time and changes the past. Okay, and basically based on one event, his dad punching Biff in the face, and getting his then like dating his mom and then marrying him and having kids and all this stuff, based on that one event, the rest of his entire life changed. Now, that's possible, but you also have to understand that, like, just because you did something different one time, what you're going to know how to do that all these other times that problems come up later in your life. So it's like, yeah, so Patrick Mahomes made one good throw. Okay, like, but dude, there's going to be a bunch of other kinds of situations that you're going to have to deal with along the way. Like, how the hell do you know, like, that you're going to just magically, because you did this one thing right, well, now I know the answer to everything, and I'm just going to fix everything from here on out. Like, I just think that's a little bit ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, look, if Patrick Mahomes was the quarterback of my team, I'd have ultimate faith in him.
Yeah. I do too, because I mean, he's won an MVP, he's won a Super Bowl, but there are some things where it's like, dude, you got to stop turning the ball over, and you got to stop trying to make hit a home run on every single play. You can't just sit back there and wait. Like, you got to eventually, at certain times, you just got to, take what the defense is giving you and move the ball. So.
Yeah, I mean, look, I certainly am not pointing to one play. The Chiefs have issues. They need to they have, 6 weeks or 8 weeks, whatever's left to try to work them out. But it is disturbing watching them. It is really.
Yeah, well, what I thought was funny was that Nick Wright goes, well, the Cowboys losing to the Broncos was really bad because look at what their schedule's coming up. They got this team and they got this team, and then they got the suddenly 5-4 Chiefs. So Chiefs are 5. What the so? Have you been watching the Chiefs? Oh, they're 5-4. Yeah, they're 5-4 for a fucking reason. Like, what the?
That thing I texted you where I said it shouldn't be that hard for an NFL team to be average.
Yeah.
What did you? Because so this is my argument. This is what makes me really mad. Okay, is that it's not that hard in the NFL to just be in the middle of the pack.
Yeah.
So
to be like 500, or like to finish the season 6-10, or 6-11, 7-10, 8-9, like right around that 9-8, right around that middle area, because the talent level usually between most of the teams isn't like there's not some huge gap. It's usually it's kind of around the same.
You're gonna have you're gonna every year, right? Every year you have 3 or 4 teams that are at the bottom, right? You have the 4, 5, 6 teams at the top, and then everything else is kind of smushed in the middle. And it's like, so this is, it's back to, what really bothers me is, telling me, it's a good coach and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, and I don't care. And by the way, I don't want people to misunderstand. I don't care about winning games. Like, I'm not talking about the Dolphins losing games. That doesn't bother me. Okay. It bothers me when you lose to Jacksonville. That bothers me. It also bothers me when you lose 35-0 at home to Buffalo. Like, Buffalo's a better team. They're a Super Bowl contender. I get it. You shouldn't be losing.
Quarterback. That's fine. But I mean, 35-0, like really at home,
right? And the way that they've played. I mean, remember against Atlanta, were they losing against Atlanta and had to come back and then they lost? I can't remember.
They were down like 27-14.
Okay. That's what
at first it was like a nip and tuck game, and then they got down because Tua threw a couple interceptions. They got down 27-14, and he brought them back. They got up 28-27, and then Atlanta drove down and kicked a field goal and won the game.
Right.
Which, by the way, you talk about teams being right around the middle. Remember, the Dolphins, they had a close game against the Jaguars and a close game against the Falcons. If they won those two games, they'd be 5-5.
Right.
So what's hilarious is even as bad as the Dolphins have been, they're within a couple of plays of being a 500 team.
Right. And the Raiders game, where they basically, when they throw the screen pass in the end zone, like, I don't even know. It just blows my mind. Like a team for a coaching staff that's been there this is their third year there, they shouldn't be making these mistakes. I'm not saying they should be winning games and contending for the Super Bowl. Not what I'm saying. Not at all. This is not even a playoff team. I'm just saying they should be more competitive than this.
Yeah.
For God's sakes, the Vikings look at the Bears. The Bears don't have any more talent than the Dolphins do. And they're 3-5. I mean,
yeah,
3-6, whatever it is. Like, so anyway, we'll yell about our terrible football team later. So